going on, everybody? Welcome back to Spotlight 39. I'm Rob Bodie. You see the face, man. You get to know him real well. QB trainer out of Central Florida. I'm going to let him do his intro just after we get to the housekeeping rules, man. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't, first and foremost. If you're new here, definitely subscribe and share. Support the kids that need the exposure because we're about to talk about a kid. He's got some great hair. He's out of Ohio. You may or may not know who he is, but you're about to learn today. So subscribe and support these kids. Help them live out their dreams, man. That being said, tell the world who you are, just in case if they don't know what you do and what you represent. It's all you.
Yeah, so this is, I believe, episode 6 that we've done together. Rocco Williams, there was a quarterback I trained out of Ohio. He comes to Orlando. So before we get into him, I've been doing this business for 10 years, train quarterbacks, have my own camp business where I travel all across the country and put up big quarterback camps. So I'm able to market myself in other areas just other than Central Florida, which has helped brand my business outside of just here, which is now I got players coming in from Canada, Seattle, Oklahoma, Virginia, Ohio. They're coming from all over, flying in and training with me on weekends, and it's been humbling, and it's all glory to God that I've been able to be in this position and obviously connect my players with coaches to get scholarships, hopefully live out their dreams. Train over 34 Division I quarterbacks, have about 6 or 7 currently playing professionally, whether it's arena, XFL, CFL, NFL camps. I've been blessed again to have a network and do Elite 11 for 6 years, and I mean, it's just been a blessing doing this, and I'm excited to talk about this one kid, Rocco Williams specifically, and just been able to train him the last couple months has been special, and I kind of broke his shell a little bit. He's more of an introvert kid, and he looks like Quinn Ewers when you first meet him with the hair, and he's got this swagger about him. It's just kind of like this humbled confidence where he's just kind of into himself. To himself. And, I got to break his shell a little bit and get to know him. And I just love his confidence and who he is as a competitor and as a quarterback. And he's a lefty, so he's already kind of trying to defeat the stereotype of, lefties can't play at a high level. Well, he's got over 7 Division I offers, and I've been blessed for a couple of those. Recently, Central Michigan and FAU at a camp that I actually coached in. He went down there and dominated in the 26 class and earned an offer from Charlie Fry, who's one of the best quarterback trainers I've ever been around, a guy who I actually coached in the Elite 11 with and got me into the Elite 11. So that was a pretty cool, special moment we got to share together, especially coming all the way from Ohio. And so let's just talk about this kid and see his film.
Yeah, so, obviously we got to start off with the training videos. Coming in from Ohio, how often does he come to Central Florida and train with you during the off season?
Yeah, he comes like pretty much a couple times a month. I've seen him already a couple times, and he's really like fine tuning his details when he comes down here. His mom believes in my work, and his dad also as well. I've yet to meet his dad, but his mom takes him everywhere and travels and does that whole thing. So, but yeah, he's been consistent in that. Again, I've only been working with him the last 2 months, right before the summer hit, and then in the summer, and obviously in a couple camps. I've seen him and been able to work with him. And when he does come, we work, 2 to 3 days. So he maximizes his time here in Orlando when he's with me in Central Florida. And, I love it. He comes to work every single day that he trains with me. And again, he just comes with this attitude where I love that. That again, you don't always have to be the most vocal kid in the room or the most vocal kid in a group setting or whatever. But, the way you throw a football and how you train is enough volume for me when it comes to that. So again, he's learning to be in a setting where he feels comfortable enough to open up. But I know whenever I'm around, we've already broken that ice. He trusts when I talk to him and say things, and again, he's very coachable, and that's what I love, especially this position. And again, when you're a lefty, it's easy for me to coach righties all day long, and I have barely any lefties in my stable that I've trained the last 10 years, and my cousin is really one of them where I've developed since he was young. And, he got to play at Valdosta State. And so I know how to train lefties. So this was nothing out of my ballpark. So when I got to train him for the first time, I'm like, okay, I'm really going to dive into his details, his footwork, his sequencing, and off-platform throws. And he just makes it look very easy. And he's got such a sharp, quick release that there's no hitch in his throw. And it's very fun to watch. When lefties can actually throw a football and it's smooth, it's fun to watch. I mean, watch Michael Vick with his whip action. You can watch Tua Tagovailoa, who's got one of the smoothest and quickest releases as a lefty. So, there's some elite guys. When you watch throw football, it's really fun to watch. Penix, the guy that was at Washington. So, when you got these lefties that really throw a sweet ball, if you actually flip Rocco's film and make him a righty, it's very smooth and fun to watch. So, he can do it all. And like I said, I'm just blessed enough to be his quarterback trainer, him coming all the way from Ohio and trusting my process. He has had a couple other trainers in Ohio, but when it comes to my guys, and like I told you in my previous episodes, I'm very big on marketing my kids, getting in front of them in front of the right people. And when you got people from all over the country watching my training videos and wanting these kids wanting to be a part of that, that's why they make the moves and travel and do that thing. So, and Rocco's one of my guys that I can confidently say is now my quarterback trainee from out of state.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty remarkable. We've talked about Montana to Central Florida. We got Ohio to Central
Yep.
Florida. I mean, you got guys everywhere. The portfolio continues to grow, the stable continues to grow, and these kids are in great hands because you have a great reputation of what you do. So we've watched the training, we've talked about the training, we've learned about the fun hair. Let's look at the film. You excited? You ready? Let's
Yeah.
break this thing down.
Let's do
I'm
it,
gonna
man.
let you do what you do here in just a second. One. All right, so we watched the training, right? We learned about the young man from Ohio, Mr. Rocco with the great hair. But let's see what he can do when the pads go on, the lights come on, it's Friday night, and he's got big dudes chasing after him trying to tackle him. You ready to get into the film, man? Let's hit this play button. I'm going to let you break this thing down for us. Give us your insight. Tell us what he does on the field, what you know about him off the field, anything that these coaches, could use to really pinpoint this young man and find out who he is. I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, just like that throw you saw in his first highlight. I mean, he's throwing off platform, evades pressure off a reactive instinct, and threw a perfect, accurate ball in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. I mean, that's one of the things about this kid that I love is how accurate he is. Now, you can just watch how calm he is in the pocket. He's always on time, and he is very accurate. And that's the best attribute, in my opinion, as a quarterback. If you're not accurate, you can't play this game at a high level. Whether you're righty, you're lefty, you're throwing underneath your legs, behind your back, or whatever. If you can get the ball to your athletes accurately, that's what's going to separate you from just the average quarterback that can just go out and play high school football. And this kid is an elite talent, like I mentioned before. He's got 7 Division I offers, most recently from Central Michigan and FAU. He's got a UCF offer. He really likes Miami of Ohio, who offered him. So, I mean, he's got several good options for him. But I believe FAMU as well. So, in Campbell University. So he's got some pretty good programs that are looking at him right now. I've talked to the University of Cincinnati about him as well. And so there's going to be some Power 4 options, I believe, throughout the season, especially his first couple games, depending on how he does. But, I mean, this kid played on varsity as a freshman, started as a sophomore. He's in my elite group in the 2026 class, which is the #1 class of quarterbacks in the entire history of football, in my opinion, especially with my guys. And so this guy fits right in the mold. He is a true competitor. And look how he does things on the move, off platform, and accurate. I mean, this kid is elite as it gets. He's a lefty. So, again, a lot of coaches may be hesitant, but when he goes on the field, I mean, again, like I mentioned with all my guys, and I take pride in it, he is the best player on the field. And so when you watch how he moves and how he's able to evade defenders and throw on the run and be accurate, again, at the end of the day, that's what matters, and that's what gets you to the next level. I mean, look at that throw right there on the sideline. That's an elite Division I, high caliber FBF, FCS throw, and he makes it look very easy. Just flick of the wrist. He makes the defender move there. I mean, look at that. Accurate, on the move, touchdown. So Rocco Williams is a special talent. I'm praying and hoping that a lot of college coaches watch this as we break down his film. But I mean, the things that he does well is move on the run, off platform, and make throws look very easy just by the flick of the wrist. And that is a natural ability and an arm talent that's elite. And that's why he's got 7+ Division I offers.
Yeah, and then you look at the film. He's under pressure a handful of times and still stays poised and delivers. I mean, right there, prime example. Takes a shot
Beautiful throw.
and just delivers a dime touchdown. I mean, that's almost a mirror image of every play that we're watching for Rocco, which is, I mean, great. Because obviously, when you think quarterbacks, Ohio probably doesn't come first to mind. You probably think, Texas, California. Now Florida's making a lot of noise. But Ohio, probably not so much. And like you said, this young man's already got a handful of opportunities, from Campbell, FAMU, what did you say, Miami of Ohio. So there's already some good options
Yep.
out there, or great
FAU,
options, right?
Central Michigan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, when you take that, the fact that this young man has already got an opportunity to secure the biggest bag of all, and that's ultimately a free education while playing a sport that he loves and is good at. I think he's set up for success in that aspect in itself. But then you talk about, the development and the fact that he's still got time to play. the first couple of games of the season are going to be prime, right? Those are going to be the ones that's kind of going to be that make or break. Is he gonna land that P4 offer early, or is he going to have to really dig in and go hard deeper in the season? But I think he's got the skill set. Like you said, you've been training him for a little while now. He's come out to Central Florida for a couple of days at a time. He's taken advantage of all the opportunities, and I think he's set up for success. Um, what's your primary focus when you do link up? What are you taking from the Friday night huddle film that we're watching and transitioning to your training sessions to really sharpen his skill set?
Yeah, so I'm very big on footwork sequencing and on and off platform, and he does all the off platform things well. I mean, he that's what really got the wow factor for me when I first trained him is how well he throws on the run and how accurate he is on the run. And as you see in his tape, I mean, a lot of things he's doing and showcasing here is the fact that he's able to throw on the run and be accurate and be on time. So I mean, look at that throw right there. I mean, that is an elite throw back in the end zone, just on time, very smooth release. But with my trainings and what I focus on and how I really work it, either I go from on platform throws to work off platform or off platform throws to work on platform. And I find that out, the kid's skill set pretty fast and how I do footwork movements and their warm ups. And so for me, seeing him, as you see in our training videos early on, I worked all solely on platform. So now we're working all pocket movement, all pocket, different jab steps and punch steps and drop sequencing, so that he's able to be confident when he needs to just be in the pocket. And so he's doing a lot of things well off platform and on the move, but getting him comfortable in that's the situation that you just are accurately enough. And that's something that we worked on. And I showed him some techniques with his footwork, whether it's, quick throwing and eliminating maybe an extra false step throw on a slant or a hitch, from gun or even under center, working 3-step, no hitch, little things like that, and being comfortable and being balanced and being able to fully rotate and transition weight. That has been our focus in our last trainings. And he has done exceptionally well in that, to where, again, the last time I saw him was about a week and a half ago at FAU. And I mean, I think he was the best 2026 kid there, which is why he received an offer. And Coach Charlie Fry walked up to me and was like, man, that Rocco kid, that kid's for real. He's the real deal. And so, that doesn't just come from a guy who's been at the NFL level, who's played in the NFL, who's played at a high, ceiling. And he's up there from Ohio, right? He played college football up north. And so, they had that in common. But I mean, he was really impressed with Rocco and his ability to throw the ball from the pocket and, throwing, one-on-ones and stuff like that, and just made it look very easy. And that's what we've been doing in our training. And that's what he felt comfortable doing out there at the camp, which ultimately landed him the scholarship offer. And so I take pride in that. And I know, obviously, me being around him, he's more confident, more comfortable, but just, teaching him little details on how he can really mentally get himself prepared to be comfortable in any environment that he's in, and so that he doesn't always need me there to bring the best out of him. Because again, most people would say he's an introvert, but he has such a good personality and he's a good kid when you get to know him. And he's sending me videos at SeaWorld and he's watching Shamu and he's like, man, this is really cool. Like, again, things that kids might not think is interesting, he does. And he's just a really genuine kid at heart. He's been raised well by two parents that support him, that are kind of like the football parents, where all the kids are at their house on the weekdays getting ready football games, maybe even during game days or Saturdays after games. And they're just that type of family. And so I really wish people would get to know the real Rocco like I have. And I know a college program out there that's going to get his commitment hopefully soon or within the next year. They're going to hit the home run with this kid. And again, he's in my top elite 2026 kids that are still available on the board. And I'm going to be marketing him like crazy. And I know UCF also offered him with Coach Hinshaw. And so trying to get him back in Central Florida, whether that's back at FAU for a visit or UCF, I know we're going to try to map that whole thing out to try to get him even closer to me, right? Or wherever he goes, he's still going to be working with me. But it'd be nice to have him within driving distance and a flying distance. But at the end of the day, he's going to get the work in, and I'm excited to see what program lands this kid. And he's an elite kid, and I just can't speak more highly of him and who he is. And I'm just excited to be one of the guys that God has blessed me with, to get to know him for who he is off the field, and then obviously what you see on the field. That it just makes it that much better.
Yeah, man. Watching these quarterbacks, it's a lot of fun because, you watch the training sessions and then you watch the Friday Night Lights, and it's like, you just get antsy because I'm ready to see what the progression looks like. I'm ready to see what the
Yeah.
Brady Harts, the Noah Grubbs, the Tysons, the Jacksons, and now Rocco, right? So now I got a handful of
Yep.
guys that I get to continue to watch, grow and develop. But like you said, Rocco, within the year, he's probably got a commitment coming. He's going to have a great opportunity, and ultimately, a program is going to get a steal of a young man who hopefully will come out of his shell a little bit more, as time goes, right? I'm very big on the
Yeah.
saying of put them in a situation to make them super uncomfortable because that's the only way you get comfortable. So good for
Yep.
Rocco for taking that leap of faith per se and really opening up. And kudos to you, man, for bringing out the best in these young men. So that's Rocco.
Yeah.
That's
And
another
I'll
young
say
man that
this. Yeah. And I'll
it,
say this for him and college coaches that may be watching this or going to see this because I'm going to post it everywhere. At the end of the day, if you're a Division I talent or a professional talent, it doesn't matter if you're a lefty or a righty. You better know how to catch the football, and you better know how to obviously strategically plan around a guy who's lefty. At the end of the day, your game plan should never change just because he's a lefty and you got four other righties in the room. It doesn't matter. He's got to learn to adapt as well. If he's a Division I athlete, he's going to learn how to do that and be at a high level. But there's no excuse by rotation of the ball going differently or how the game is played. If you're a left-handed quarterback, at the end of the day, if you get the ball accurately, those kids should be able to catch the ball, and nothing should change. So whether he throws lefty or righty, I've had so many college coaches literally say they won't offer kids because they're lefty. I mean, that's crazy. Even one coach, and I won't name names, from a Division I head coach, told me his son's lefty. He wouldn't even recruit him. That's bogus. I mean, I have Blake Boda at Arkansas as a lefty. Coach Vibratrino, one of the best coaches to ever coach this game, loves lefties, and he knows that lefties have special arms and special gifts. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a Division I quarterback or receiver or even college coach, you better learn how to coach and teach lefties. And also, receivers has no excuse because of the rotation of the ball. That's where they have a higher drop rate because of a lefty quarterback. Doesn't matter if you're a Division I talent, catch the ball because that's your job. You got a full scholarship, do your job and make it happen. High school receivers aren't complaining. They just want the ball in their hands to score touchdowns. None of his receivers are complaining. So that it just fires me up about lefty quarterbacks. And this kid's an elite kid, and I'm excited to see what college program lands Rocco Williams.
Rocco Williams out of Ohio, training in Central Florida with one of the best in the business, one of the best to do it. Look, if you enjoy this, and I hope you do, make sure you subscribe and continue to help these kids because Rocco, he's just another one of those guys that could use the additional exposure, another tool to add to his toolbox per se. So make sure you subscribe, share, like, comment down below, all the things that the algorithm likes so we can continue to push this thing out, get this in front of as many eyes as possible so Rocco and these other young men have the best chance at living out their dreams. So I'm Rob Odie, man. Spotlight 39. We got plenty more quarterbacks to talk about. So make sure you tap in, stay tuned till the next one. I appreciate it.